Hello everyone, my name is Avni Taylor and I'm going to present the research proposal on the topic Study and Analysis of Factors Contributing to Poverty in New York City using GIS. Poverty in general is a very complex issue and has several bad effects on a country's overall economy. If we talk about poverty on global level, the US shows very low poverty of about 1 to 15% in most of the states and about 16 to 30% in few of the areas in the south part of the US. There are many government policies that help in alleviating poverty by boosting economic security, creating more jobs, raising the minimum wage. But there are still some areas in US that shows high level of poverty, which is why I'm doing this analysis so that some more information can be obtained about the factors that still contribute to it. So about 1.7 million New Yorkers live below the poverty line. The census data shows that poverty rate is increasing in New York City and the average income per household is low. So basically the poverty rate is going up and the income gap is getting wide. This rate has mostly hovered between 19 to 21%, which is quite higher than the official poverty rate of 12.7%. There is also a huge difference between the rural and urban median household income and the poverty rate. The median household income for urban areas are more than the rural areas, whereas the poverty rate for rural areas are more than the urban areas. There could be many reasons that cause poverty, even after having a different level of, even after having different types of government policies that help in reducing poverty. Few of those factors are poor economy, which increases unemployment, lack of affordable housing, then substance abuse. Many people start using alcohol and drugs at very early age, uh, which uh, which is why they usually don't get proper education. They don't go to college, and this can lead to poverty. Lack of affordable quality education is another cause. Not everyone can afford a quality level of education. The cost of college education is rising every year. Then there are also medical expenses. There are also extreme weather conditions which can cause poverty. And there can be mental and physical illness which can also cause poverty and so forth. So the main goal of this project is to investigate and analyze the factors and main causes of poverty in both rural and urban areas of New York City. There are two main challenges in modeling the correlation between poverty and the factors affecting it. First, there is no robust model which can show the exact relation between the increase in rate of poverty and the factors affecting it. Secondly, this correlation between poverty and education is mostly the poverty is mostly measured by one's education status and income. But the recent census data for 2017 shows that even the people with bachelor's degree had the increased poverty rate. So there is a need to focus on other factors which can help in eradicating this problem. Over the past decade, poverty coupled with recessions, increased inflation, and high unemployment resulted in reduced standard of living of many Americans. Other reports by Center for American Progress shows that more than 1 in 7 American almost equal to 46 million people, lived below the official federal poverty level of less than $24,000 per year for a family of four. The current poverty rate is 14%, with 45.3 million people officially poor, and among these people, 19 million people are in deep poverty. It is also difficult to meet the basic needs, even with the added assistance of government programs. So, one size fits all solution is not going to work for everyone, which is why it is important to do an extensive analysis of different types of factors that are responsible for it. The goal of this project is to investigate the cause of poverty in New York by doing an extensive analysis on the major factors that contribute to it, the factors that have strong correlation with the poverty. And to achieve this goal, there are three objectives. First is providing a visual representation of the major counties in New York City that have high poverty rate based on below poverty level estimates. Second, focus on main areas with high concentration of poverty using different kinds of GIS tools like hotspot analysis. Third, provide an analysis using some other GIS tools to show the relationships between different variables and then model those relationships to help government focus on all kinds of factors that may cause poverty. There could be many potential benefits in this project. The GIS can help in detecting different types of areas that have high poverty levels, and hence it can show strong association among different factors. The study will also give an idea of areas which are consistently poor and need immediate attention from government. And finally, there is a scope of improving the commercial and public infrastructures around the recognized poverty areas so that it can benefit the poor people. While doing the literature review, I came across many different articles giving ideas about income poverty and health poverty relationships. A lot of research has already happened in the past to analyze this issue. Every year, the US Census Bureau's Small Area Income and Poverty Estimates program models the estimates of income and poverty for small geographies. Their main goal is to provide yearly estimates of children poverty as the basis for allocating funding to school districts. This research also shows variation in the poverty rates of the total population by state level, county level, and median household income on small scale for 2007 to 2016. This model can be used to detect and analyze timely change in income and poverty for small areas. The another research focuses on showing a basic analysis of topography of poverty data. This is a special analysis using county level data from the Community Health Status Indicators project. This research shows a proper usage of GIS to show various classifications of poverty data with the same dataset. It shows the classification of data through natural peaks, then it also shows quantile classification, geometric data classification, and so forth. The paper also demonstrates the use of spatial autocorrelation to show positive and negative spatial correlation patterns. For this purpose, they use Moran's index, but since the Moran's index cannot provide information on particular locations of spatial patterns, the another measure known as LISA, Anselin's local indicator of spatial association, is used to indicate the presence and magnitude of spatial autocorrelation. The US Census publications also give some insights on income and poverty relation by focusing on median household incomes, earnings, income inequality, and other factors. This information can also be used to look into more detailed level analysis. To show a proper relationship between different factors, I had to take different data sets since a single data set is not sufficient for the scope of this project. So for this project, I'm taking the combination of 5 data sets taken from United States Census Bureau website. These datasets are of poverty status, school enrollment, education attainment, employment status, and median income in past 12 months data for New York. All these 5 datasets were imported into ArcGIS and were joined to a geographic boundary file, which is also known as shapefile, for 62 counties of New York based on the GeoID information. Then this data will be modeled using different GIS tools to give an overall analysis of poverty in the New York City. There are various tools that have been used for mapping clusters of counties that have people below poverty level, like hotspot analysis, spatial autocorrelation, cluster and outlier analysis using Anslin's local Moran index. I'm going to use all these 3 tools for mapping clusters of counties. For the later implementations, there will be few more tools that I'm going to use to model the spatial relationships and measure geographic distribution using exploratory regression so that I can test all the variable combinations and directional distribution to summarize the spatial characteristics of geographic features. This map of New York census shows the range of people below poverty level. This is basically an exploratory analysis of the poverty status dataset, which shows the number of people living below poverty line in different counties of New York State for the year 2016. Based on this dataset, I did a hotspot analysis to look for the major areas that show high level of poverty, and this is where I recognize New York City as the main hotspot of people below poverty line. NYC shows statistically significant spatial clusters of high values as compared to other counties, which mostly have either non-significant values or low values, cold spots. So the spatial autocorrelation will indicate the relationship between multiple factors contributing to poverty. Modeling of spatial relationships will also result in demonstrating different variable combinations. These relationships between variables can further show how much each factor contributes towards the poverty. Then for future purposes, I'm planning to do some other regression analysis which will be performed to estimate the relationship between variables in more detail. That was my take on the research topic of analyzing poverty level of New York City. Thank you so much for watching.